Hello, I'm Brandon Watson, head instructor at Central Arkansas Golf Academy, and I'd like to welcome you to our second installment of Academy Tips. But before we begin, I'd like to let all of you know just how important it is to find and trust a golf instructor. No matter how much you can see or read or hear, nothing is like a hands-on golf lesson to really get you back in the swing of things. And even though the weather isn't perfect right now, it is the perfect time to start working on that game, because when you get into actually wanting to play, you don't want to be having all the kinks and the trials and errors of something new. You want that to be comfortable, and you go ahead and just put it to your buddies when you first come out. That being said, I'm going to do my best to show you guys and girls a little bit about the full golf swing today. If you remember last segment, we worked on the knockdown, which was an abbreviated swing, keeping the ball low. It's still mid-January, we're still going to have some wind, but I want to talk a little bit about the full swing that you guys and girls are going to be using a lot this summer and this spring, and take away some of the myths or some of the old theories that have been improvised and been improved. But what we're going to look at today are things you hear all about ever since you first begun to play golf. And I'm going to talk about how those well-meaning tips probably got turned into something horrible in your golf swing. What it looks like is not what it really is, meaning we're going to talk about backswing. You'll hear a lot about people saying width in the backswing makes you think a big backswing. Transition, which is from the top starting the downswing, and then we're going to go ahead and talk about the rest of our downswing here. But really what I want to talk about today is wide backswing, narrow downswing. Wide backswing, narrow downswing. So what do I mean when I talk about wide backswing, narrow downswing? Seems like a contradiction. It's actually not. What happens is when we swing back, our legs should stay what I call into your teepee. You can draw a line from your feet all the way up here, and it's going to create a narrow wedge like this right here. When we turn back, I want the wedge to maintain, even though our hips are turning a little, but I want my hands to go back very wide and create a great angle as I can right here with my wrist. This doesn't count. When this left elbow folds, you've absolutely collapsed your swing, and we want to stay as far away from that as possible, because that means we've got to go back out like this before we hit the ball. Also, when this lever here comes undone, it's very easy to let this lever here flip way too soon. You'll end up hitting behind the ball. Having this right here with the straightest left arm as you can, wide, letting your legs stay here in the teepee as you just turn your top, this is how we want to create the backswing. If you know me at all, you know that in my teachings I like to use cheap but very effective drills. All you'll need is 3 golf clubs for this one. The first part we're going to work on is that wide backswing. All you simply do is lay a club down here. Remember, we always want to take something to go along our target line. Why not practice in our alignment in every swing we take on the driving range? Go ahead and set up to your normal ball position. For me and my instruction, that's always going to be right here somewhere under your left pec. We don't move it around on the ground. Now when I go back, I want to keep my knee over this club that I've placed right on the inside of my foot. So when I turn back, yes, I'm wide, but you'll notice my knee hasn't shifted outside my foot. That's kept my body centered, and I want to try to just keep this knee over that club and get my left shoulder over that club. That's going to create a lot of width without lower body movement. We stay in the teepee. So once I'm here, my legs are in my teepee, I haven't let my knees narrow, meaning I didn't flop in like this with my left knee and lean toward the target. I've stayed my base, I've kept my width. I'm right here. Let's talk about the transition into a narrow downswing. What a narrow downswing means is a lot of people will take it back wide and then try to go out and around wide. What happens then, you release the club way back here, hitting it on the ground or catching the ball in some kind of flip because you're trying to turn your upper body and turn wide like that right here. What we want to do is we want to actually shift over and let our hips, our belt buckle, glide across. And if you'll notice when I do that, what does that do to my downswing in this angle right here? It brings it more this way in what I call narrow to the body. My left arm is still straight. I didn't pull the club closer. I still feel extension and everything, but what's happened is my circle that was back here, I slid forward. And this tilting of my spine away from the target automatically creates that lag you hear so much about. So when we go back here and we shift, and it's just a baby shift, you don't want to go way out here like that. You can overdo anything in the golf swing. You just baby shift, and then you go into your rotation, letting your body fling your very, very loose arms instead of trying to rotate with the top. That rotate from the top is what causes the come across and the big slide. So we've got two parts so far. Wide backswing, knee over the club, and then we're going to shift. How are we going to know how much to shift? We're going to go ahead and take another golf club. I've actually got a dowel rod here. So this would be our third golf club, or if you want to use dowel rods or any type of graphite sticks, go ahead. So when we get in here, we stand here, my ball position is always going to be the same, maybe just a touch right in there. And then I want to turn back and knee over, and then when I go forward, as I rotate, I want to try to get my belt buckle on top of or past my ball line before impact. We don't just want to keep sliding after that. Once you feel like you've done that, you want to keep rotating. Remember, at impact, we want our belt buckle to be pointed about 30 or 40 degrees in front of the golf ball. But we also want it to move forward at the same time. So I'm going to use the drill in its entirety now. You can do it slow motion first and then go ahead and swing out of it. Get my normal setup. Good ball position right there. I'm going to turn back, feel the width. I'm not going to let this knee move back, and I'm going to try to get my left shoulder over that club. That keeps me wide, but not dipping to the other side. When I go forward, I'm going to feel like I move forward, my feet roll toward the target. I'm going to let those hands release when I want to. Don't think too much about this right here. You'll end up trying to manually make it or manually take it away. It just happens at the back and then releases on its own once you move your body through. I'm going to go ahead and hit one through the drill. So, wide back, let your hip shift take care of the narrow down, and then just feel like your arms go into wet noodles. You don't even want to think about the actual hit of the ball. If you'll try to cover it, what we call cover it with your body and your chest on the left side of the ball, you'll go ahead and hit down on it and have a solid shot every time. I'd like to thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I hope it's helped your golf game. But like I said in the beginning, there's no substitute for a live lesson with an instructor who can put you in the positions and help you feel what a real golf swing is supposed to feel like. That, coupled with the high-speed video and V1 digital coaching software that we use here at Central Arkansas Golf Academy, will help anyone's game. I'm so sure of it that I'm going to make an offer. If you'll come in and say you saw this clip on Conway Video on Demand, I'll give you a free golf lesson through the month of March. Again, just come in, say you saw this on Conway Video on Demand, and the golf lesson's yours. No questions asked. One per person, please.